Let's go. Chobei's my favorite. Hello and welcome to another Volume 1 reaction. Today we will be reacting to episode 4 of Hell's Paradise, titled Hell and Paradise. We should be in for a treat this episode. I cannot wait to get started, to jump right in
to hell.
Paradise, dude.
I'm sorry.
We don't know yet, but we're about to find out. So without further ado, let's just jump into episode 4, Hell and Paradise.
剣竜八州無双と呼ばれ、俺より強い男も見当たらなくなった頃、藩主のなんとか辰巳から士官の要請が来た。大屋敷が自慢の尊大なやつだったが、食いぶちと竜の字のよしみで快諾してやった。
Oh, we're starting with this man's backstory. The Blade Dragon.
だから切ってやったのだ。門扉にあった竜と腰抜け竜の肝っ玉をな。おかげで藩中から追われ死罪にされた。後悔はしてないがな。ご免状さえ手に入れば無罪放免だ。堂々と剣の腕を磨ける。
I mean, what he did wasn't even that bad. He just ruined someone's house.
Yeah.
He just fucked up some architecture.
俺に言わせりゃお前らの方が理解できん。お前が下げているそれは解剖用のものだろう。陰気なやつめ。罪人の首で食う飯はうまいかよ、なんとかえもん。
浅右衛門です。山田浅右衛門淵。
Fuchi!
山田家の家業は斬首だけじゃない。刀の試し切りや製薬など。解剖もそう。人体構造の解明は医学を発展させる崇高な使命だ。侮辱するなら許さない。
You could do it in a matter of seconds. Watch your tongue.
Hold your tongue, criminal.
I love when they just,
you just cut the rope.
Get rid of the restraints like that can stop
and
them.
Nobody else cares. Nobody else cares.
Because it makes sense.
Yeah.
太平の世にもはや心躍る果たし合いなど望めぬと思っていたが、
このお役目は孤独のようなもの。時間が経てば経つほどより強い毒虫が残る。幕府がしびれを切らせば次の虫を上陸させるだろう。より強く強烈な毒を持つ虫を。
Yo, the little baby hands coming out of his eyes.
Ew.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Let's go. Come on, Gabby.
なんだこいつ。魚？数珠をつけてるけど、化け物？生き物？わからないことだらけだが。面倒だ。
Say ass, Gabby. You've killed people. Oh, damn! The fish is jacked.
忍びの鉄則その後、得体の知れぬ相手とは対峙すべからず。
逃げる。
Suck it.
二人で。
Out.
ここは危険だ。
こんな大怪我するんですね。
ひとまず逃げるぞ。
Whoa. There's a shit ton of them. Oh my god, they're huge. Worse than Titans.
なんなの？笑ってる。まさか本物の。
Shoot, that one in the middle looked like my stepmom. I keep saying that.
Every monster ever.
Every monster.
もういい。余計なことは考えるな。
Whoa.
He's Levi right now.
Shit. That's some ninjutsu right there. Whoa. Whoa. He hit his own self in the head.
Ow.
Damn.
危険な
Gabby don't need ODM gear.
ここは極楽浄土。それとも
No.
Or
that is-
something else. Is she in paradise or where is she?
Whoa. Sagiri, you're in hell. This is hell.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is
It's
hell.
not paradise. After seeing this, it's not that.
それは弱さじゃない。
Sagiri, you got big girl pants
情を
too.
貫くのが真の武勇。
排除しろ。
Get into
Bro, if I
it.
was surrounded by these monsters, I wouldn't think to myself, is this paradise? You have a wife, dude. Chill.
ガビマル。
Oh, he just came too. Oh,
He's like, I blacked out.
he did.
すごーい
Whoa, here we go.
一人でやったの
My wife.
My wife.
Gabby has his wife. This is my wife.
すごーい私ゆずりはあんたと同業の
ゆずりは
超お仲間だね
何のつもり？
人に助けてもらったらありがとうというのですよ。
助けてくれてありがとう。で、何のつもりだ？わしらは競合相手。
そんなにピリつかないでよ化け物はいなくなったんだしさそんな血出てるのに普通に立ってるしさっきだってその子助けてたんでしょ私と組まない
Bro, he has a wife.
心だなんてもう怖くて怖くて何でも言うこと聞くから私を守
He just breaks her finger.
Oh. I mean, yeah.
I mean, kind of does.
何すんのよ
くのいちのやり方は心得ている。
ちょっと試してみただけやらないよりやって後悔するのが人生でしょでも
Wise
上
words.
等な誘いは本気だよ
そもそもなぜ浅右衛門が2人も。
この人は
山田朝右衛門源氏本来は転びバテレン諸牧屋についていた牧屋はこの女に騙され死んだ武士道に外れた卑劣さだこやつを御すに
Whoa.
は首切り人一人では不足と判断し拙者の
Right,
同行すること
dude.
にした
Whatever you say,
Right, look at
man.
色仕掛けか。
源氏殿は昔から女に弱い。
僕が本来の担当山田朝右衛門センタと言いまして
まあ
センタ
私らもここに来るまでにさわけわかんない虫だ化け物だ石像だいち早く戦薬を見つけ出すのも大事だけど無策で突っ走って死んじゃ元も子もないでしょ
当人同士が合意の上なら協力も問題ないでしょう。
やったーガビマル大好き大大大何すんのよ
くのいちなど信用できるか？
やめてよ信用なんて子供じゃないんだからお互いいつ裏切ってもいいどうせ戦薬見つけても無罪は一人だけなんだしギリギリまで利用し合おうって言ってんのお願いガビ
She's trying everything. She's pulling out all the stops.
お主と組んで何の得がある？
そっちは戦力こっちは情報を出すわ化け物を警戒してるみたいだけどここで本当にヤバいのは虫の方よ人面の蝶飛んでるけど巣も習性も不明
That's what a regular butterfly looks like to me, though.
リングには原作用とか毒が含まれてるみたい
なんでそんなこと知ってんだ？
モロマキア仲良くなってうまいこと言いくるめてあいつで試したからムカデの方はキモいけどほっといても大丈夫死肉しか食べないから
Oh, she tied this man to
な
a
んで知っ
tree.
てんだ？
Yeah, she
Makio de
literally
他にも
tested on
虫はい
this
たけ
man.
ど基本近づかなきゃ襲ってこなかった
そいつどうなったんだ？
死んだふりして油断させてやっつけた
化け物たちが身につけているものは宗教的な意匠が多いです。それも仏教か道教に由来するような。仏教と道教は本来別物。混在しているのは違和感がある。僕には島が本来の意味での極楽浄土とは思えません。
Yeah, no shit. It's not paradise.
神秘で片付けるのは簡単ですが内部構造や刀から伝わる筋肉の質感は生物のそれです。
わかんないことだらけなんだから先立つものは協力と情報収集だって
なぜそこまで情報を明かす？そうまでして生き抜きたいのか？
たった一人の妹がいる、不治の病を患っているけど薬代もない私は稼ぐため忍びとなり貝の霞谷で地獄の修行に耐えた
貝の忍びはみぞれ谷だろ。
I can't remember if she's telling the truth or if she's lying.
それ
I
で
don't know.
その里の長に なんかダメだぞみたいな。なんか裏切られて。
おい、嘘なら長々話すな。
バレた？どうして生き残りたいって理由なんかいる？ただ生きて帰りたいってことに理由が必要？私は若い美空で死にたくない。それだけ。
それからもう一つ聞きたい。お主モロマキアって男に本当は何をしたんだ？
Fuck. Whoa, what the
別
fuck?
に何もしてないよ。気になる？他人の命とか。死ぬよ、そんなんじゃ。
まあいいだろう。わしも情報は欲しい。協力でなく共闘というなら。
やったー、最高ガビちゃん。
Yeah, he's like, don't touch me.
妻がいるので。
Let's go, Gabby.
ダメダメ、待ちなさいよ。もう手は組んだんだからこれ以上教えなくていいの。
私はこの島に着いてから何を成した
Here
の？
goes Sagiri.
化け物に戸惑い、状況に翻弄され、私はなんて無力なの。
She freaking passed out.
強さとは変化だ。
入門1ヶ月で代行を許すとは
見事だトーマ。最後は罪人を切り目録許しとなるが、
希望の地がございます。
That's a pretty boy right there.
助けに来ましたよ、兄さん。
おせえよ。
山田家に潜って一月でこの役を得た弟にねぎらいもないのですか？
んでどう逃げる？奉行所の連中はしつけえぞ。
追われなくなるという方法もあるようです。
乗った。
変化とは状況に応じて姿を変えることだ。状況を素早く理解し、
Bro.
飲み込むことだ。
生物なのか。
時に理解しがたい状況もあるが。
God damn.
なら殺せるな。
すぐに飲み込む。それが兄さんの強さだ。いつだってそう。父の仕えた藩主が江戸城で狼藉を犯した角で藩の取り潰しが命じられた時も、貧乏暮らしで母が病死した時も、父が主君の仇討ちに参加し処刑された時も。野党に襲われた時も、すぐに状況を飲み込み、最終的にはその場を支配するに至る。
I thought I was turning sinister. I was like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, me too.
トーマ、お前は逃げろ。
兄さん、
後で俺を救いに来い。信じてるぞ。
Damn, he's been fucked
Fucking
up over
eye.
the years.
Yeah.
この世の断りは弱肉強
But
食
it
で
just
はない。
proves how much he's doing for his
適者生
brother.
存。
For real.
適応する者こそ強い。
トーマ、バケモンの間抜けるぞ。
飲み込めぬならすぐさま逃げるもまた適応。兄さんは変化の天才だ。ただ一つ変わらないのは、
Whoa.
Oh, by the hair, Yaga.
Yikes.
強さとは変化すること。
Nah. You
ずっ
know.
と変わらないものなど
You know he's got something up his
不
sleeve.
要だ。
He's got something up his kimono right now.
だからこそ兄さんは
He's taking off.
強いんだ。
化け物め、
Woo!
ここから先は通さん。
Damn, he had to get a bigger axe.
おお、やっぱバケモンの武器はバケモンに有効だな。
That's so fucking
お前
sick.
のおかげで獲物拾う時間ができたぜ。
Ah.
殺しは罪です。
They
虫
speak.
にも命があるんだ
Oh!
よ。魚にもあるよ。
兄さん、これは本物の神仏。ここは極楽じゃなく地獄。
主君の罪は家臣の罪。死罪に処す。大罪人懲役これ。
うるせえんだよ。罪ってよ。
Sick. Fuck yeah, dude. Let's go!
正しさに従う奴隷ども。てめえの欲もねえ。くぐったも。口出しされてたまるか。俺は俺のやりたいをやる。俺の神も俺だ。
And let's go! Chobe is my favorite!
絶対に折れない自我だ。
つの間にか盗賊になって、もう僕には何が正しいのかわからない。
泣くなトーマ。弱みを見せりゃ死ぬぞ。正しいかわからねえなら俺だけを信じろ。俺は兄貴だ。
Sick, cute, wholesome, beautiful.
決めたぞ。バケモンも罪人も片っ端から皆殺す。見つけた戦薬は俺たちで飲むんだ。俺たちの生き方にもう誰も死すら口出しできねえようにな。
果たしてそううまくいきますかね。ここは危険な島です。これから出くわすとなればこの窮地を生き抜いたことになる。それだけ脅威だということです。
Senta's so funny.
弱い者は淘汰されている
So
でしょう。
Giri's funny too, dude. She's like always kind of going through it. Wow. Now that was a good episode. That was probably my favorite episode so far.
Yeah, I agree.
We still have a couple characters and kind of duos that we haven't met yet, but now we're really starting to get to know some more of them. And Chobei and his brother, even in the manga, were some of my favorite. One of my favorite duos, I guess. I really love their relationship, and I just love Chobei. He is a boisterous, I guess. He is a loud, he is a act first, think later type of character that exists in a lot of like anime and manga, but because of his like connection and his relationship with his brother that kind of grounds him, I don't know, I really like him so much more.
Well, it is just so funny, like you say that he just like goes in, you know, like he goes in, doesn't really think, like goes first, thinks later. But in the eyes of his brother, like we just saw, he's so smart. He knows what to do in every situation because he's just so used to like following his lead. And I'm sure he's like learned. I mean, they had to like quickly adapt to their new life as like runaways and like, you know, convicts, I guess. So it is just funny, like seeing what you perceive him as versus like the guy who's been following him. Like he knows everything.
Well, I think it's because his brother Chobei, I think when I say act first, think later, I think he is able to act so quickly because it's mostly instinct at this point.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't, and that's why he ends up doing something that ends up being smart or ends up being good in the situation or working in the situation because it's all instinctual. They've been going through this since they were kids. He's been having to deal with these things since they were kids. I absolutely love their relationship. We got to see some more of your girl too this episode. And would you say she's one of your favorites, if not your favorite?
Yeah, I really like, I mean, obviously no spoilers, but I really like where her character goes towards the end of the series. So I am excited to see her with the group. And there's like another duo that we saw a glimpse of that I would say is my favorite.
Yeah, that's literally, I feel the same way. There's Chobei and his brother, who I really like because, again, of their brotherly connection. And how, I mean, it's really cool too when you think about it because everybody else is being escorted by an assignment who is their guard and they are a criminal. In their situation, they have a very different situation. They're fortunate in that his brother has infiltrated the assignment clan and is working with him. Like, so they have the upper hand when it comes to like everybody else.
Well, because it's like, I mean, they do have a duty to like protect each other. I guess the criminals more so than the assignment, because if the criminal dies, then the assignment just get to take a boat home. But if the assignment dies, then the criminal will die. Yeah. So it is that type of like give and take. But their situation, obviously, they want to keep both of each other alive.
Yeah, but, and I think they're willing to do more for each other than an assignment would be willing to do for a run of the mill, criminal.
Unless you get seduced.
Yeah. They're more emotionally invested in each other's survival, but also success in getting that elixir.
Well, that was the first characters that we've heard say that they're going to drink it themselves. Right. Other criminals that we've heard are just want to get it and go home and get pardoned so that they could live their lives. They're like the first to say like, oh no, we're going to take the thing that we're here to do.
Yeah.
So that's...
But you assume that in dealing with criminals, that a lot of criminals are going to potentially think that way. Potentially.
Yeah, but we haven't Seen that yet.
But I think,
that was the first two that said that they were going to do that.
Yeah. That's why, again, I love their dynamic so much because they are in a completely different situation. But having said that, the other pair that we saw a glimpse of, they just take the cake as favorite duo for me, favorite criminal assignment duo. But Chobi and his brother are a very close second. And since we met them first, they're my favorite as of this episode. And then once we meet that other
I do like
pair,
the dragon. He's funny.
He's okay. Yeah, he's all right. He's not my favorite.
He's not my favorite, but the later he has some funny bits.
I like his assignment more than I like him. I mean, and he's not like bad. He's just like, I don't know, there's something really like, I don't know.
And I like Senta too.
Yeah.
The guy with the glasses.
Yeah,
he's so just like sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what we talked about in some previous reactions. Once you start to meet these other groups, their characters offer such an interesting and new dynamic to the story. And even as some of them, not all of them, but some of them even start interacting, pairing up with each other.
Which we saw,
Yeah, which we saw in this episode. But even how they end up like bouncing off of each other, playing with or against each other, it just makes for a far more interesting story. And that's where, for me, a lot of the charm comes from. I don't mean to repeat that from having said it in a previous reaction, but I feel like now you can see that yourself. Whereas before you would have had to take our word if you hadn't read the manga on that. But yeah, and I think that this is what's so great about this episode. Once we shift a little bit away from Gabby and Sagiri, which I love them too. I really do. Gabby especially. But Sagiri just, she falls into that same anime trope of a character who's like constantly going through something
riddled with self-doubt
and just repeating
confidence.
Crippling self-doubt to the point of, not that that's not real, but like in a story that feels like it needs to keep moving, it feels like she always kind of can halt it sometimes with that self-doubt. But every character has an arc. Every character needs to start somewhere so that they can grow and overcome it. And so that when they do overcome it, it is satisfying. And we feel connected to it. So, I mean, I don't have any issue with it. I love them, but I really love some other characters that we've already met and then will meet going forward. And I think this is the first episode we've finally gotten to see that. Started to see that. So that's why this was my favorite so far. As well as like finding out new mysteries about the monsters.
Yeah, like I mean, I like how the information was given, not just like, oh, like we found out that this is like the main two characters, like Gabby Maru and Sagiri, like, I don't know, like coming to that conclusion themselves. But it was cool. It was like an exchange, like we'll give you information of what we did to this like assignment.
That was crazy.
And knowing the information about the bugs, and obviously like it showed like these monsters seemed like they were going to be a huge problem, but they really weren't. It's like the ones that are getting weeded out first are the ones who wouldn't be able to handle it anyway. Everyone that's on the island right now is like, this is the group.
Yeah.
These are the people that are able to defeat these things. So it is just cool to see like them talk about the other prisoners on the island and just show like, monsters, like huge monsters just dead because they're able to defeat them, and they're not even the biggest threat that they know of yet. So yeah. And then the talking monster, like, is this hell or paradise? Like, they'll get more information later, but that's all we know right now.
Yeah, and that's another reason I like this episode so much, is because it sets up that mystery of, at first we think these are maybe mindless, freaky, monster, mutated things. But even, I remember reading the manga, and what I loved so much about how it introduces us to these monsters is that they're wearing like prayer beads. This is before we find out that they can speak, but they're in religious sort of like garb. And then you can still think maybe they're like we saw humans being shipped back, or, to wherever they came from with flowers and stuff coming out of them. You could think, okay, maybe they've mutated or sort of like fused with these other creatures. But then you start finding out about the garb itself, and that it's like from Taoist and Buddhist religions, from both of those religions, and that those religions aren't synonymous with each other and aren't really mixed. So why, what are these things? Where do they come from? What do they represent? Is it, multiple, people and creatures fused together? What are they? And then they start speaking, and other characters question if they're deities, because, they do kind of maybe look like.
I mean, and what they're saying.
Well, and what they're saying
about sin,
but just how sometimes these ancient deities are depicted in these really bizarre ways, and oftentimes horrifying. Like when we talk about like some depictions of biblical angels with like so many eyes that take up their whole face. I mean, sometimes these things are horrifying, but I like that they're not just monsters. There's also this mystery of like, what are they? Where do they come from? Like, what's their deal? And they're sentient to a degree. They can talk. I love that so much. And so that's what kind of kept me wanting to continue reading in the manga, because I knew that I was in for something more than just like slashing through monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's it is way bigger for the people that are still watching. Like I could guarantee like the world is like way bigger than you can even anticipate. Like the lore of like what's actually going down is kind of like really crazy. Like I remember reading it, I was like, "What is happening? Like,
it's really
what
cool.
is this?"
It's really cool.
So it isn't just big monsters that look like fish.
No,
it gets pretty crazy with other things. But
you're in for a treat, dude. It's gonna get better and better from this point on. But that's gonna do it for our discussion on episode 4, Hell and Paradise. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you're watching all the way here to the very end, or at the very end. We appreciate you so much. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet and you like these videos and you'd like to continue to see more of these videos, then please consider subscribing, leaving a comment down below. All of those things are greatly appreciated, help us out so much, and help us in the algorithm as well. If you'd like to see the full uncut, unedited version of these reactions, then you could do that by becoming a Patreon member by going to patreon.com/volume1pod, or by becoming a YouTube member on our main channel by clicking join somewhere next to the subscribe button. There will be a link for you to join our YouTube membership program if that's something you're interested in. A link to our main channel in the description below. If that's too much, then patreon.com/volume1pod. You get more than just uncut, unedited, uncensored reactions. You get to just Hell's Paradise. You get reactions to other anime series that we react to as well, but also exclusive content, early access, a bunch of stuff. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, and you'd like to become a part of the Patreon gang or the YouTube member familia, then click the link in the description below or go to patreon.com/volume1pod. Thank you so much. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which today, Mehgan, is...
Kind of stumped on this one.
We're taking the elixir for ourselves or something like that.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for any and all ways that you show your support. And until next time, we're taking the elixir for ourselves.
Yeah,
you would win. You would be the assignment.
Freaking freak.
I'd be a freaking freak.